Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Semoskiy Winter. And our heroes today are going to be Zero, playing for the Soviets. And his opponent today is going to be LFD, Electronic Monk, playing for the Germans. So once a win, yeah, that's what I meant to say. Once a win, this is from the whatever. Anyways, once again, this is from the Sunday Night Fights Season 5 tournament. Round of 128 from the first week. I guess I should clarify now, considering that the speed of my uploads isn't as best as it could be, and we might actually be already on the next the second round. I don't know. Well, anyways, whatever. This is from the first round of 128. So let's take a look at our players or heroes today. The highest ranking player in this matchup is going to be Zero. Zero, his Soviet play is in the 500 range. So, you know, pretty good. And, well, Electronic Monk is not anywhere near that. Also, as far as the seeding goes, let's see if we can find that. I didn't have it at hand, but I should be finding it soon. There we go. Seeding was 46 for Zero and 83 for Electronic Monk. So, pretty good, pretty good. So, yeah. Let's see if we have ourselves a great match here. A little bit of a mismatch, but, you know, like I said, upsets can always happen. So, checking back to the game, let's see what the build orders are for our players. Zero, doing the usual that you would expect a Soviet player to do, and that is getting himself some conscripts. Already up to third conscript being produced, and I can only assume he's going to get himself some Molotovs after that. Electronic Monk, again, doing what you would expect a German player to do most of the time, and that is getting himself tier 1. And he got himself 2 Grenadier squats right off the bat, with a third one following right now. So, pretty good. Here an engagement down south, and that is Combat Engineers getting engaged by Grenadiers. We see that Zero sent his Combat Engineers to the fuel point and the strategic point, sending his conscript squad to capture the southern points following up. Conscript squad, however, is moving to the house. They're going to garrison that to try to deny territory, but the Combat Engineers are actually getting a little bit battered by these Grens. They actually haven't taken any damage up until that point. Now one of them actually got shot, and the bar of health goes down a little bit. Conscripts actually decided not to head into the house. They're going to head into the center and start capturing territory alongside their other compatriots. The second conscript squad for Zero actually was sent to the far left side, or north, I guess you could say, to the munitions point, and then the victory point. But we do have a Grand Squad moving up to the cutoff point, which is now surrounded by conscripts. So anyway, Zero did not get himself Molotovs. He actually went for a fourth conscript squad, while Electronic Monk as well went for a fourth Grenadier squad. So 4 on 4 so far. We do have the Grens over here capturing the cutoff point, which doesn't accomplish much at this point, considering that it doesn't actually have the fuel. Down south, we also see the Grens for Electronic Monk decapping that fuel, while the Combat Engineers are trying as hard as they can to hold the point. There is a conscript squad coming up that will help them out. Molotovs are being researched for Zero, so he will have a little bit of an edge there, but they have not been researched just yet, so it's going to take him a while. And we have the conscripts for Zero pushing out to the front of the base. They do actually force away that Grand Squad, since it is getting shot at the same time by the conscripts in that house. Grand Squad is now down to 2 men. Conscripts in the house are actually surrounded by 2 Grand Squads, but they are well protected in the confines of that house. And with the conscripts back there on the strategic point, they are sure to win that fight. Although with a third Grand Squad coming up, it is actually going to be a long, drawn-out fight that will take quite a while. Down at the fuel point, we see the Combat Engineers and Conscripts did actually win that fight against the Grens. The Grens do end up retreating down to 1 man. Pretty sure a Molotov went down. I can't actually see the thing, but maybe not. I mean, they were surrounded, so. Anyways, we hear Molotov go down by these Conscripts right on top of the Gren squad outside the house. One of them catches fire. The other one moves right next to the fire and catches flame as well, leaving that squad down to 1 man. Nice rifle nade going down on the Conscripts outside the house, taking a lot of damage, down to 3 men themselves, but the Gren squad is forced away. 2 Grand Squads left on the field in the forward fight here for Electronic Monk. Another rifle nade goes into the house and gets some kills and a lot of damage. Squad is less than half health, but still at 5 men, so able to output a lot of damage. And up north, we see that the Pios got run off the field from the Conscripts of Zero. So center map, the Grand Squad at 2 men decides to back off and will be used to cap territory, while the 3-man Grand Squad stays in the church, just, well, delaying Zero as much as they can. So, very nice. Molotov going down into the house, and the conscript squad down to 1 man, forced to retreat, but with the 5 men still left in that house, Zero is able to hold this territory quite effectively. Combat engineers on the right-hand side do end up retreating. They end up retreating, I think, just because Zero wants to build something. Tier 1 or Tier 2, but yeah, the conscripts over here are capturing. There aren't any enemies nearby, so yeah, we can assume that Zero is going to be building some tech. And as well as Electronic Monk, he built himself Tier 2 already, which means we should expect either a half-track, which is quite popular when you go with a lot of Grenadiers, or, well, a lot of other things. I mean, Panzer Grenadiers are also an option. Not exactly the best in that situation, but, you know, viable. But no, see, he went for the half-track, as we assumed, so very nice. Half-track will be hitting this field soon. There is a lot of munitions, 90 munitions so far for Electronic Monk, so we can only assume he is going to be getting himself a flamethrower on that half-track. Zero, interesting enough, gets himself his doctrine, and that is the conscript support tactics. Interesting choice. I mean, does bob your conscripts considerably, but I am not, you know, completely sold on it anymore. I used to swear by that doctrine when the game went retail, or well, the retail game went live, is what I'm trying to say. But ever since the change to hit the dirt, you know, since it's not as potent as it was before, you know, this doctrine kind of limits you in what you can do. I mean, yeah, it buffs your conscripts, but that's about it. It doesn't give you any other additional bonuses for the game. Anyways, Molotov in the center going down on those Grens. Grens get burned alive and forced to retreat. Down to 1 man on the retreat. The conscripts do start moving around and don't take additional shots, missing an opportunity right there to potentially kill that Grenadier squad. Half-track hitting the field, we also have an MG42 on the field for Electronic Monk, so very interesting. A heavy investment in Tier 1, but followed up by his Tier 2 half-track will allow him to give those Tier 1 units even more punch. The conscripts in this house are trying to hold up against all the Grants, MGs, 42, and the half-track, but the half-track is getting its upgrade right now. We see the munitions for Electronic Monk down to basically 0, so it means he popped that flamethrower upgrade. So those conscripts needed to get out of there quite quickly. They do get out of there before the flamethrower upgrade pops, so they make it out alive at 2 men, so very lucky there. Zero did build himself Tier 2, and is going for an AT gun, so quite nice. AT gun will allow him to fend off that half-track if properly positioned. But again, the half-track is quite fast, and if the AT gun is not supported properly, the flamethrower can do very quick work of the crew of the AT gun and the crew. Half-track in the center, going crazy with his flamethrowers. One of the conscripts gets burned alive. Rest of the conscripts continue to push forward. We do have 18-8s already up for 0. But pushing forward against that half-track as it backs up into an MG42 and Grens is not the best choice, and that conscript squad ends up paying the price, falling dead in front of his enemies, never to fight again. Look at that dead stare in his eyes. Poor soul. Anyways, half-track pushing up to the north. He's going to start harassing more conscript squads. The conscript squads do need to get themselves out of there. AT grenade is an okay thing to toss out whenever you can, but chasing a half-track that's backing off is gonna get your conscripts killed. But yeah, I mean, this retreat is fine. Retreats up at 3 men, you know, that's great. Up north, we see combat engineers and Grens fighting it out. We have a conscript squad up to the far north. It's a little bit exposed. The half-track can very easily go hunt it down. AT gun takes a shot at the half-track and misses horribly, has to back off. And with another conscript squad coming onto the... Well, actually, no, it's not even coming onto the field. This is a reinforcement. Takes a nasty shot there, gets killed by a rifle nade to one of the men, but continues to push forward. AT gun trying its best to support, not being able to really accomplish much, and we now have Zero producing a Maxim machine gun. Molotov going down, Grenadiers move out of the way and dodge it completely, so the conscripts are not able to do that. Combat engineers retreating down to 1 man, getting shot by all sides. Grens all over the place, and another Gren squad coming in through its retreat path. But luckily for that 1 man, he manages to hide from the line of sight of that Grenadier squad by that bush right there. Conscripts up north, retreating as well, having to run through the Grenadiers, get one of them shot in the face as they retreat. And a couple more shots going off, but they will be fine. There are medics on the field for Zero, so he will be able to get his squads back to full strength out onto the field, but he has taken quite a beating at this point. And yeah, it's not really going his way. Mortar also being produced for 0, so he will have some indirect fire capable of helping him out against that MG42. MG42 for Electronic Monk, a little bit passive, was set up back here for a long time, now moving up forward, could set up position right here, start shooting at that AT gun, but it is going to actually hold position in the church, just securing the center. Down south we see conscripts just moving around capping, and we have the Maxim machine gun now hitting the field. We'll start opening up on that Grand Squad. The Grand Squad will throw a rifle nade at it. They are very clumped up, so they're going to take a lot of damage. Look at that damage go down. 3 men killed instantly. Other 3 men remaining taking a lot of damage, so very low in health. Another rifle nade goes down, and pop goes the Maxim machine gun down to 1 man. Sliver of health left. Will get shot. Actually, no, gets retreated. Pulls his shopping cart and starts running back with the groceries. Now the conscripts do jump into the house, which will make it a stronger position here. The MG42 will get distracted by them, and we'll just end up shooting at the house. So this allows Zero to start, doing something else. Mortar setting up in the bridge. One thing to keep in mind is that this is the frozen river version of the map. So while the mortar is fine, there right now, you could always put it like around here, or just push it up like through here. You don't have to go through the bridge all the time. Anyways, AT gun taking a barrage here into the center. The Grenadier decides to move back into it and takes a shot to the face. Down to 1 man on that squad. Forced to retreat. Conscript moving up and gonna throw a Molotov at nothing. Yeah, a little bit of unfortunate queue up there for 0. The Grenadiers were far gone from that point. Flamethrower half-track pushes up and starts going to town on the conscripts. Takes a nasty shot by the AT gun. AT gun only manages to shoot it once before it gets out of its arc of fire, and the half-track is about half health. Conscripts over here do get burned alive by their own Molotov, and again, quite unfortunate. The church does get bombarded by the mortar and forces the MG42 to pack up and get out of its confines. The Grenadiers in the center is just holding ground, and we have the right hand side, conscripts capturing, and more units just pouring out. Pack gun getting produced for Monk, being a little bit preemptive against any vehicles that might hit the field for 0. He also has himself a Panzer Grenadier squad, which will be quite good. Fortunately, 0 right now has not spent his munitions in getting PPSHs for his conscript, which means that they are going to stand no chance against those Panzer Grenadiers. They are only Veteran C1 and don't get the defensive bonus from Veteran C2. Also, at the time of casting this is 1 day before the patch of the 12th hits, and that means that by the time this one comes out, we should have seen the major overhaul on all the veterancy bonuses. So the game probably look a little bit different. Ooh, combat engineers getting slaughtered in the center there for 0. Quite a nasty loss. Mortar forced off of the field. The Maxim machine gun also forced off by that half-track. So Electronic Monk on a roll, just slaughtering 0 back and forth. 0 not managing to catch a break. No additional tech for 0 so far, so he doesn't have a response for it. And he is building another combat engineer because he lost the only one he had on the field to build any additional tech. MG42, or is this? Yeah, it's an MG42 over here for Electronic Monk, just holding the southern right-hand side. Conscripts in front are trying to URA to get on top of that half-track. The half-track is simply going to back off, and with its Veteran C2 will really not care if it gets 18-aided. Panzer Grenadiers nearby, just holding the line. The conscripts push forward, get burned alive by the half-track, and also get mauled by the Panzer Grenadiers. Down to 2 men on the retreat, down to 1, barely makes it out alive. Oh no, the Grand sniped the guy basically, and down goes another conscript squad. So 0 not catching a break. So yeah, pretty awesome play here by Electronic Monk. He is dominating. Maxim machine gun trying to push across the river. It's a little bit uncertain of what it wants to do. Sets up in the river and starts opening up on the Grants. Rifle nade going down on the Maxim machine gun. Kills again 3 of the men, and the remaining 3 take their position and start shooting. AT gun does get recrewed by Electronic Monk, and that is actually a Panzer Grenadier crewed AT gun, so that's going to be quite tough to take out. There's 4 Panzer Grenadiers in there, so that means the extra man, it's actually 2 extra men in there, have Stormgiver rifles, so those are actually going to do a lot of damage to incoming infantry. So obviously it's going to have to need a Molotov basically, or a vehicle of some sort. Electronic Monk now has himself tier 3 and is getting himself a Panzer 4, which means he will have quite a punch on the field. 0 for his part is building tier 3, so he will have a response afterwards, but the Panzer 4 will hit the field and have at the very least, a minute's window to, well, do and have its way with Zero as much as he wants. Another conscript squad running through the battlefield, trying to make it back home alive, barely makes it with a sliver of health. One man stays on the field. The half-track does get taken down, so small victory there for Zero. Not exactly sure how it went down. I can only assume that 18 went down from this conscript squad, and maybe something combined as a mortar round landing on the half-track, potentially. I say that because it was a very nice mine there from Zero. These grunts could potentially walk into it if they are moving in this direction. Let us actually see. Pretty sure there's a stalemate at the front of the base. The grunts capture the point and are not moving. Come on, just walk onto the mine. You know you want to walk into the mine. I mean, it's right there. You're going in that direction. You know you're going to go cap. Come on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Oh, man, only one guy left. Well, very nice mine there by Zero. Almost got himself a free squad there. So, combat engineers moving to the right-hand side, just trying to recap territory while Zero continues to fight in the front of his base. He's currently pinned down. There is grunts all over the place. There is an MG42 on the field, but it's currently defending the south, which will help him out because these combat engineers will not be able to capture territory. Panzer IV is just heading straight into the center of the map. Zero does not have another AT gun on the field to be able to go against it. He does have a T-34 on the field, which will help him just, keep that Panzer IV at bay for the meantime. But he would have to very, very difficult. I mean, it would have to be very difficult for Zero. Actually, okay. He recovered his AT gun, so that's very nice. If he can turn it around and start shooting at the Panzer IV right now instead of trying to run back home, he could potentially take out the Panzer IV. Panzer IV is now getting shot by the T-34. The AT gun still retreating. Turn it around. Doesn't matter if you lose it. It's right in front of your base. No? Okay. Well, that is unfortunate. The pack gun now opening up on the T-34. T-34 will lose this fight. The Panzer IV is charging it. The T-34 now dead. AT gun now finally sets up. It's going to take a shot at the Panzer IV. Does a little bit of damage to the side armor, but the Panzer IV is simply going to walk away. Combat engineers once again lost for Zero. A little bit too focused on the center fight, unfortunately. And the one-man grunt squad continues to capture without any opposition. So, yeah, I mean, Zero's just simply not catching a break. His conscripts now have PPSHs equipped, so they'll be able to pack a little bit more punch. We have a veteran C2 conscript, which is essentially his main pack punching, whatever, infantry. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. Maxim machine gun hasn't really accomplished much. It has 2 kills so far. Keeps getting rifle naded by those grunts. Problem is that Zero is moving up the Maxim machine gun right in front of the grunt squads to attack, which allows the grunts to already be in range for a rifle nade. Needs a little bit more support, have conscripts in front, set up behind them, and like that. Panzer Grenadiers just mauling the conscripts. The Vet 2 conscript squad not able to stand against that. Panzer Grenadier squad does manage to force a retreat when it gets down to 2 men. But the AT gun is also setting up in a, well, it's actually an interesting angle. It can actually shoot at the Panzer IV, and there it goes. Nice shot. The Panzer IV decides to back off, and we'll make it out. Pack gun in the center could get decrewed by the mortar. Oh, very nice. The mortar actually got veteran T2. 8 infantry kills. Very nice. And Zero is trying to push back into the map. He actually managed to do almost a full round for Electronic Monk. He has no infantry on the field right now to speak of. He has a pack gun over here, an MG42 in that house, and the Pios that are repairing the tank. But that's about it. The rest of the infantry did end up having to retreat because Electronic Monk lost his half-track, so he hasn't anything to reinforce on the field with. Floating a little bit of manpower for half-track, up to 500 now. We'll see if he's waiting for anything. And still no doctrine for Electronic Monk, so interesting. So, so far we see these pack gun capturing territory. The conscripts over here did actually decrew that MG42. Would benefit Zero a lot if he could actually take that MG42. Get a little bit more infantry on the field without having to pay for it and just reinforce it. And the Maxim machine gun, conscripts, and the AT gun are pushing into the center. Panzer IV moves into the center, victory point, taking some shots at the infantry currently capping. The AT gun sets up and takes a shot at the side armor of the Panzer IV. T-34 is on the field for Zero, needs to move up and hunt down that Panzer IV right now. Pack gun is set up in an awkward angle where he cannot cover the T-34. Nice, 18-8 goes down. The T-34 is moving into the center, but not going for the Panzer IV, quite unfortunately. Conscripts pulling back, Veteran C2, allowing them to stay there alive for a while. And the T-34 is just in the center, getting rushed by Panzer Grenadiers. Not able to do anything with Panzer Grenadiers because they don't have Panzer Treks. And more Panzer Grenadiers and Grenadiers rushing against that. 3-man Vet 2 conscripts, but they jump into the house to hold the position a little bit longer. Down to 2 men in the house, and Grants continue to push forward. Panzer Grenadier squad over here down to 1 man, is forced to retreat, but it does actually take out the mortar. I was going to say Molotov. The mortar squad, which unfortunately means the veterancy is lost for 0. AT gun still set up, trying to fend off in case the Panzer IV wants to push forward, but it has no infantry defense. Bundle landing right on top of the AT gun, doing a lot of damage to the men inside, and down to 3 men itself. 2, and probably will go down. There goes. AT gun goes down once again. And the second AT gun on the field does throw a nice barrage there at those Grenadiers, forcing it to retreat at 1 man. And Panzer Grenadier does get shot down on the retreat. T-34 still on the field, damaged engine. The Panzer IV as well has a damaged engine after taking an 18-8. And the conscripts ended up actually getting Veteran C3, so very nice battle there for these conscripts. Not fully reinforced and hitting the field. This last reinforcement will not actually kick in. He is too far away from his own buildings. Quite unfortunate, but sometimes you can't wait or don't want to wait. Mortar and AT gun currently decrewed for 0 in the center of the map, so he still needs to get those up and running. There's still that MG42 down here that he could take. I mean, if he doesn't want to micro it, he could just simply put it in this house and lock down this territory for a while. We have a conscript squad over here on the far right, capturing territory. Victory point Y0 himself is down to 203 points, but currently he has 2 points in his favor. And Electronic Monk sitting comfortably at 412, so he has time, and he is taking that time to reinforce, rearm, repair, and head back onto the field. Another MG42 is getting replaced for Electronic Monk. He wants to have one on the fight as well. And getting a second Panzer IV to hit the field. 0 for his part, does not have enough fuel to get another T-34 to bolster his tank forces. And the T-34 currently on the field is still not getting repaired. We have conscripts, and conscripts. Where are the combat engineers? Combat engineers are... Oh! 0 doesn't actually have combat engineers, so that's why. Okay, well that is a problem. Another bundle lane going down on the AT gun that just got recruited. Does a lot of damage. Still at 3 men though, so they managed to pull back. T-34 needs to back off. It really can't actually stand this fight because it is damaged with its engine. Panzer Grenadiers are near the mortar. Not, I mean, they shouldn't actually want to pick it up, otherwise that means they will lose the entire Panzer Grenadier squad. And the Grants are pushing against the AT gun, second AT gun on the field. They are taking a lot of damage, the AT crew members, but the T-34 takes a nice shot there, does a lot of damage to the Grants. Molotov going down, but the Panzer IV is now getting the flank. We have 2 Panzer IVs on the field for Electronic Monk, so he can't afford to send one in willy-nilly. AT gun is set up in an angle to cover, but unfortunately the Panzer IV is too quick, too nimble, and AT gun not able to take a shot. Conscripts pushing back, getting into range for an 18-8, and they don't. They get mauled by the Panzer Grenadiers and are forced to retreat. Conscripts over here still trying to support. One thing to remember, which I think is what Zero's trying to do, is he does have the conscript support tactics, which means conscripts do have the ability to repair, which he is doing right now. Conscripts, however, will take extra damage while repairing in combat, and that Panzer IV can eliminate the squad in one shot if they are badly positioned and repairing, so they need to continue to back off, fend off against the Panzer IV, but no, the T-34 goes down to the Panzer IV. AT gun takes a shot at the tank, but unfortunately he's not able to finish it off. So both Panzer IVs for Electronic Monk right in front of Zero's face. They take both about half damage, but just simply pull back. Another T-34 getting produced for Zero. He does have a healthy fuel income right now, which means he should be able to get himself another T-34 relatively soon after this one gets produced. So he's not out of it just yet, but he is in a very tough spot. Also, the Panzer IVs. Ooh, the Panzer Grenadiers get taken out by the Veteran C3 conscripts. Very nice pickup there for Zero. But yeah, what I was going to say is that the Panzer IVs are starting to get Veterancy. This Veterancy 1 is halfway to Veterancy 2, and if that Veterancy 2 kicks in, that tank can pretty much solo 2 T-34s if he wanted to. So it's a very, very difficult situation here for Zero. Still an uphill battle, not able to quite grasp the map back again. Mortar over here not getting recruited by Zero. There is a German mortar on the field, which is just bombarding the advancing conscripts. Conscripts taking nasty shots there by the mortar. Pack-gun as well, taking some shots if it can. It has actually hit one guy right there. Conscripts in the center getting harassed by Panzer IV, Grants, and, well, no, the piles are a little bit busy repairing. Rifle nades and mortars and Panzer IV shooting at the conscripts, forcing them to retreat down to 2 and 3 men respectively. Maxim machine gun does set up in the middle of the map, taking some shots at those Grants. Grants taking also shots from AT guns and T-34s. The AT gun does a little bit of good damage. Rifle nade does go down on the Maxim machine gun, doing again a lot of damage, down to 3 men. But the Maxim machine gun is now veteran C2, so at veteran C2 it says accuracy and durability. So very nice. More Panzer Grenadiers getting produced for Electronic Monk, so he has lost all the Panzer Grenadiers left to produce, and he produced at least 2 before. Hasn't actually been, you know, a walkover for him. And also, I didn't mention it, but Electronic Monk got himself his doctrine, and that is the Assault Support Doctrine. So that probably means a Tiger. I can only assume. He doesn't have enough fuel for it, obviously. Incendiary barrage going down for Zero, trying to catch what infantry it can. Does actually decrew that mortar. Pack-gun, however, does manage to move itself and make it out alive. T-34 takes some damage and is at about 75, actually a little less, about 60% health. Half-track on the field for Zero. Interesting choice. I mean, the half-track is good, but interesting choice at this point. Personally, I would have held back to get 2 T-34s, considering that Zero knows that there is 2 Panzer IVs on the field. So with 2 T-34s, you actually stand a chance of maybe catching one of those Panzer IVs out of position and killing it. Maybe, you know, doing a ram and finishing off with the other one. Half-track isn't really going to help you much, aside from, you know, recrewing stuff on the field, which helps a lot. But like I said, I'm not sure if that was the best choice. Conscripts over here on the north, mauling that Pioneer squad. Pioneer does get cleaned out, but then come Panzer Grenadiers up to clean up the conscripts. The conscripts are not retreating, they won't retreat, and they're dead. Conscripts in the center push forward, they're gonna get shot by everything. Potentially throwing an 18-8, no, they're just holding their ground, trying to capture territory. They do move forward, get shot in the face by the Panzer IV. Rifle nade goes down, rifle nade goes down on the conscripts, doesn't actually do a lot to them. Nasty shot there by the pack-gun, nails another one of those conscripts, so that pack-gun now up to 3 infantry kills, so quite a baller. But the Panzer IV does take an 18-8 to the face. Oh, very nasty shot there by the Panzer IV. I think so, right? Or was it a rifle nade? Might have been a rifle nade. Ah, I missed exactly what it was. But Maxim machine gun and its crew gets completely taken out. Pack-gun and Panzer IV just shooting at that T-34 that is suiciding into the center. Ram goes down by Zero onto that Panzer IV, gets the crit on both the gun and the engine. But I'm not exactly sure what that was for. I mean, okay, well, he is following it up with the AT gun. The AT gun is moving right on top of the Panzer IV. One pro tip, I guess you could say, if you don't have line of sight to where the tank is, remember you can always attack ground, like near it or a little bit past it, and the shots will hit it if it's in the way. So this AT gun was probably moving up there because Zero was not able to see it because of the wreckage of the smoke. But yeah, there's always that option. So a decent push there by Zero. He actually manages to kill one of the Panzer IVs, and with his half-track is recrewing stuff on the field. However, the half-track does get shot by the pack and is very low in health, down to a sliver of health. Conscript needs to start repairs on it if he wants to keep it alive. The gunner on that truck actually also got killed. It's a little bit sad in there because the gun is destroyed. And the conscripts and AT gun in the center just trying as desperately as they can to hold territory. Another T-34 getting produced for Zero. Zero is trying to get himself back into this game, and he's doing a decent job of it. This engagement in the center, it's a little bit weird. These conscripts were queued up to move all the way over here. Unfortunately, Zero did not, control them as they were moving. They were already right on top of that Grand Squad. Now they're a little bit to the side. They will actually be used to recruit that AT gun, so AT gun on AT gun shots will start flying. Panzer IV over here still getting repaired. A barrage there from one of the AT guns would actually do a lot of damage to the crew repairing it, but he doesn't have enough munitions for it, quite unfortunately. And the Panzer IV is about to get fully repaired. Conscripts continuing to push forward, followed up by the Vet 3 conscripts. This Veteran C2 Grenadier Squad needs to get out of the field. I mean, Zero needs to focus this one down and get less pressure on the field for him right now. There he goes. He does move right on top of it. Continues to move, unfortunately. Needs to stop his conscripts so they can actually fight. Conscripts continue to just move around. There we go. Grand Squad getting mauled by those PPS agents. Down to one man, forced to retreat. Panzer IV, however, gets fully repaired and is now back in action. The half-track, actually no, the T-34 over here now getting chased by that Panzer IV. The AT guns on the field are somewhere in the center of the map. They're both in the center of the map, covering the victory point. The T-34 needs to move into the range and support of those AT guns. AT guns needs to move, I mean not move, turn around at least. Turn one around. Turn one around, Zero. There we go. No, don't move it, just turn around. Okay, well. AT gun over here is now not properly positioned, and this AT gun is still backing off. Okay, well. At least Electronic Monk stopped. He doesn't know where he is, and Zero as well is unaware where he is. Another T-34 getting produced for Zero. That is exactly what he needs to do, is try to get the swing back in his favor for the tanks. So we might start seeing the comeback for Zero. He's still losing on the victory points. He has brought Electronic Monk down to 300 points, but currently Zero is losing on the victory point ticking. 2-1, so he needs to get on that. MG42 on the far right, just set up to cover the position. Always remember you can vault over fences, so Zero could set something to the edge, just vault over and get a flank on that MG42. Panzer IV in the center gets a nasty shot by that Vet 2 AT gun. The Vet 2 AT gun does increase the weapon damage, so it has to back off. The Panzer Grenadiers are pushing forward, along with Grants going against those AT guns. Conscripts going straight for the Pack gun. The Pack gun did do some damage to the T-34. No, it didn't actually. Will do damage now, considering that it sees it. There it goes. Nice shot goes in on the side armor. Does about 25% damage. Panzer Grants and Grants push onto the T-34. T-34 gets a nasty Faust on its front armor. And the Grants and Panzer Grants are forced to retreat. Conscripts trying as much as they can to hold the ground. Grants over here at one man, still holding their own. And the AT guns are doing as best they can to shoot at stuff. The T-34 now getting shot by the Pack gun. It's going to get shot again. It goes down. Just as the half-track was sitting back onto the field, and the second T-34 has already gotten there. Unfortunately, loss there for Zero. Didn't actually need to lose that tank, to be frank. And the mortar's still there on the field. Probably the MG42 still over here as well. Yeah, a lot of weapons lying on the field all over the place. Could get recruited, but unfortunately are not. Oh, and I know what happened here. The Maxim machine gun blew up. That's why all the guys in that squad ended up dying. So, conscripts over here just getting reinforced, moving back onto the field. Half-track, moving around, just capping what it can. Panzer IV, now Veteran C1 at about 25% of the way to Veteran C2. The conscripts get their PPS ages just as they're getting mauled. Down to 3 men. Will go down to 2 if they don't retreat right now. Yeah, there you go, down to 2. Needs to get them out of the field. T-34 moves up, takes a nice shot at the Panzer IV. AT gun returns fire as well. T-34 getting beaten up quite nastily. There we go. More shots go down by the AT gun. And we now have a Tiger on the field for Electronic Monk, so this spells doom for Zero. Down goes the T-34. The Panzer IV might go down if it doesn't move away. The AT gun is aiming at the Panzer. Yes, it does. Destroys the engine. Panzer IV trying to back away. Can the AT gun clear it out? Clear it out. Focus on it. Needs to get at least one victory there. The conscripts are pushing forward. Gets Veteran C2 on that guy, doing damage to the engine, but it's still alive. The AT gun backs off and starts shooting at the Panzer IV. No, the Panzer IV does go down. The Tiger now taking quite a beating to the AT gun. This AT gun backing off. The other one now Veteran C3 in the center. This is Veteran C1. Veteran C3 doing a lot of damage, and Veteran C3 increases the weapon damage even more and adds armor. Pack gun actually taking a nice shot there on the Vet 3 AT gun 4-0, doing a lot of damage. This AT gun needs to get recruit or merged by these conscripts ASAP as soon as possible. And this Veteran C1 does get cleared out. AT gun now getting recruited by the half-track. Will allow it to stay on the field. So very lucky there. More AT guns on the field for Zero, trying to stave off that Tiger. Tiger did take a beating there, down to about 25% health. Right-hand side, conscripts capturing territory. MG42 jumps into the house and is going to start going to town on those conscripts. The conscripts will lose the fight. If they had actually hit dirt there, they would have been able to capture the point, even though they were still died. And AT gun gets recruited by conscripts. Half-track moves up, trying to get some help to that AT gun crew, but gets cleared out. And a house goes off on the half-track, doing a lot of damage. So more AT guns on the field for Zero. He'll have 3 if he manages to recruit that. Conscripts over here getting mauled. Now pinned down, needs to retreat. There they go. Full retreat. And Zero getting himself back in the game, but at a very, very high cost. He does have a lot of conscript squads matching the combat units for Electronic Monk, but he doesn't have any type of tank. Electronic Monk has a Tiger that is not currently getting repaired. He does not have any Pyos on the field, so the Tiger is a little bit of a dead weight right now. So, like I said, Zero has a chance of getting himself back in this, and it all depends on what he does at this point. Tech switch would be a great idea, but he doesn't have the fuel for it. What else can he do? Victory point wise, 0, 151. Electronic Monk 244, so very close, but still in the favor of Electronic Monk. Pack gun shooting at the AT gun. Conscript Veteran 2-3 pushing forward. They're going to run into those Panzer Grenadiers. They should actually stop and go against the Panzer Grenadiers. Bundle 8 going down. Very nice bundle 8 right behind the gun. Gets 3 kills. Another kill with the machine guns or assault rifles. And the AT gun is forced to back off. Conscripts over here fighting against the Grenadiers and the Panzer Grenadiers at the same time. They're doing a lot of damage considering their veterancy. Down to 2 men to those Panzer Grenadiers. And they are now getting surrounded by a lot of squads. Another conscript squad moving up to support this veterancy 3 squad. Veterancy 3 squad now down to 3 men. Molotov going down on the Grand Sam Panzer Grenadiers. Very nice Molotov. Forces them to get right on top of them. Taking even more damage from the SMGs. Down to 2 men on the Vet 3 conscript squad, that is. And forces the retreat. Down to 1 man on the Panzer Grenadier squad, but with Panzer Grenadiers and Grens nearby, this veterancy 1 conscript squad is going to get killed. Won't make it out alive. There it goes. Fortunate loss there for Zero. Unable to keep his infantry on the field. And the Tiger is now getting repaired by brand new Pyos. So Zero losing his window of opportunity right now to do something. He does have a lot of fuel, not getting himself a T-34, which is quite interesting. Is he actually going to try to go for the tech switch? I don't know. Faust going off on the half-track, doing again some damage on the engine, but with the anti-air gun that it has, it does force away that Grenadier squad. But the Tiger, now emboldened by its less than half health, moves up to the half-track and takes it down, considering that it got heavy engine damage. And there goes, half-track down for Zero, so he loses any type of vehicles on the field. And the Tiger backs off once again, and it's going to start getting some more repairs by the Pyos. Still some AT guns on the field. The Veteran 231 can do a lot of damage to that Tiger if it's set up like right here and got a conscript squad in the house to, you know, draw fire. The AT gun could do a lot of damage, but currently it's just getting shot by the Tiger. Moves to face it, takes a shot, misses completely, horribly actually. And the Grants are now moving up to flank it. Rifle Nate going down in the bed. The C3 AT gun down to 2 men. Oh no, this is unfortunate. I think this is going to lose Zero the game, losing this AT gun. Also, Zero is currently triple capped, so he means he's down to 80 points, less than ideal. And the conscripts are trying as hard as they can to fend off against that Veteran C3 squad. The AT gun moving around as much as it can, trying to make it back home, but Electronic Monk knows he needs to clear out that Veteran C3, and there he goes. Without that Veteran C, the AT guns need to shoot all 3 in unison and hit the Tiger to do as much damage as that gun would have. T-34 now in the field for Zero, and I don't think that's going to be enough anymore. 1 AT gun still crewed, the other one is coming back onto the field, and this one is still there, so he still has a chance, but he needs to do something about the victory point situation. Conscripts over here on the right-hand side gets pushed away once again by Panzer Grenadiers and the MG42. The MG42 moves back in and is going to capture the point. So far Zero unable to deal with this right-hand side situation. He moves his infantry there, decaps the point, gets pinned down by the MG42, and ends up having to retreat. AT gun in the center, doing a barrage at the pack gun, manages to decrew it, so that gives the T-34 a little bit of room to fight. The Tiger, however, is on the field at about 90% health now, 80 at the best scenario for Zero, and it will be able to deal with that T-34 quite easily. T-34 gets fausted by the Grenadiers, and is now with a damaged engine. The Tiger moves up, starts to turn its gun. It is exposing its rear armor, so it will get some damage on it, but T-34 will eventually die. Panzer Grenadiers also holding the ground at Veterancy 3, mauling that two-man conscript squad with no veterancy. They go straight for the center, but unfortunately Zero loses the squad as well. T-34 stuck in the center of the map, gets shot by the Tiger, down to a sliver of health. One more shot will finish it off. And boom, there it goes. Main gun destroyed. Actually, the tank is still alive. Tiger gonna have to shoot it one more time, and there it goes. No more AT guns on the field for Zero. He has lost all the crews on them, and that is it. He throws in the towel before the points tick out. So that is quite an unfortunate loss for Zero, and like I said, quite an upset here. Electronic Monk actually managing to pull out a victory against a superior opponent as far as rank. So very nice, very interesting game. I liked it. Very long compared to the other games in this tournament. Well, this round of the tournament. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.